In this video, we will be generating documentation comments, and I'll be using ChatGPT to help us with that. And this is for our program that we wrote in Java 1.18. In the previous video, I spoke about how to get JavaDoc to be working if it isn't. Please refer to that one if you need help with adding the path to the system. So let's look at some types of comments in Java. We've got the single line comment, the multi-line comment. These are not the kind of comments we are referring to in this video, but we are going to be focusing on the JavaDoc comment that's used for API documentation. And also in probably another video we'll talk about, but that's a markdown documentation comment. This is introduced in JDK 23. So that's a new alternative to JavaDoc that supports markdown syntax instead of HTML. In this video, we'll be focusing on JavaDoc as this remains the standard for API documentation up to this point. So that's the program. There's no documentation comments for that yet, but let's have a look at the documentation, JavaDoc documentation comment specification for the standard doclet JDK 23. Up to this video, and to my knowledge, this is the latest. So this provides a detailed guideline on how to write documentation comments in Java with JavaDoc tool use, which the JavaDoc tool uses to generate HTML documentation. So it's a complete guide. We have documentation comments. These are basically like we saw here, they're special comments, and they are placed immediately before declarations like classes, methods, or fields to describe their functionality. Types of comments, we have the traditional comments. So basically they begin with a forward slash with 2 asterisks and can include HTML content, inline tags, and block tags. We've also got the markdown documentation comments that we spoke about just now. They're included in JDK 23, and these start with a triple forward slash and support markdown syntax. They offer an alternative to HTML for formatting. Like I said, I might do another video on this. Now, the general syntax is to include a main description. Now, this provides a summary of the declaration's purpose. We've also got block tags. So it starts with the @ and then we'll include parameters like @param, @return for return values, @throws for exceptions, and they offer additional structured information. The inline tags, they're embedded within descriptions like this, and they're basically used for specific formatting or linking, like @code for code snippets or something like this. What else do we have? So documentation comments can include HTML or markdown content depending on the comment type to enhance readability and structure. We are going to be focusing on the traditional documentation comments. Okay, so there's more information here. This is a good reference to come back to whenever we need to. Yes, there's a table all the way at the bottom. The table is got a combination of block and inline tags. The code is an inline tag. The author, return, these are block tags. Okay, let's come back to our program, and what I'm going to do, and to save the time, I'm going to copy my code, and then I'll come back to my browser, and I've got ChatGPT opened, and I want to tell it, can you help me with generating documentation strings, comments for this program. I'm going to paste my code and I'm going to hit enter. So now it's telling me here is your Java program with proper documentation comments. So let's have a look at what we got. So initially, we got the class level comment, the dynamic menu. Now, basically, this usually explains uh, what the class does. So it explains that this class creates a dynamic menu where options are numbered automatically, and it allows users to select an option. For the main method, we have a description for the main method that starts the program and displays a menu. It also mentions, no, it doesn't mention. Okay, so for the param over here, it mentions that it takes a command line argument that we don't use them for this particular program. But we know the main method takes that args, which is an array of strings. Okay, next what we have is a description here. So we come back here, main description, what was it called? Yeah, the main description for the method display menu. So it explains that the method basically displays a list of menu options dynamically, and it takes scanner object for user input, and it returns user's choice as an integer. So that's our param, and that's our return type right here. Okay, so that's the comment here. And let's see what else it did. Oh, it also has this final sort of comment about the auto numbering benefits. So it lists the benefits of dynamically numbering menu options, such as no manual updating required or easier to add options in the future. Okay, so let's have a look at what's next. So let's talk about, thank you. Let me actually copy it. How do I generate the documentation using JavaDoc? Now, in the meantime, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to paste it. So here's what it looks like. The code itself, nothing changes. The only thing would be that the documentation comments were added. So now I'm going to save it and I'm going to come back to see what it told me here. So it says we have already added the Java doc. Next, navigate to the directory where we've got the file, and then we want to run the command. I just want to mention, we looked at the methods. So all the methods that we have either take a param. In this case, this one over here, it's got one parameter and returns one. So what about a function or a method that doesn't return anything? So in that case, I'll just add that one. Say public void show welcome message. So that's just for testing purposes. How does this? I forgot how to do this shortcut for that. System.out.println. Look up to this program. Now, to do for this particular method, as you see, I haven't got any, we don't have any return type. There's no param. In that case, we can just have a main description, display a welcome. And you want to focus on what the method does, not how it does it. So that's a key point for you to remember. Okay, now let's go back to the instructions that ChatGPT is giving us. So initially, that's the command that we want to type. So I'm going to go into specify. So I said to go to that. So you can see that my package explorer is actually sitting in a package called Learn Java, and then in there we can find the source in Learn Java. Now here it is. Okay, So you can either create the file, the folder in which the documentation is going to go into, but I can also see that if you know, it's given a folder name saying docs, if that's not there, it'll be created. So here it specifies that documentation should be saved in this directory, and dynamic menu.java, the Java file for the Java doc should be generated. So what are we doing? We need to execute the command. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type cmd from here, and that's going to give us the path directly to where that's located. I'm going to right click on my mouse, and that just pasted the command that I've copied from the instructions that ChatGPT is giving me. Okay, so I said I didn't have it's giving me a warning because I don't have a default warning of user which does not provide a comment. I didn't have a comment for the default constructor. I don't even think I don't have a default constructor anyway, but yeah. So let's come back to the location, and now we can see a folder called docs. I'm going to double click into it, and then there's a lot of files here generated, so that's why you want that to go into a folder. And then I'm going to double click on index.html. Here we get to see some nice AP documentations that look like, what do you call it? That look like an API documentation that you see on the official API page. So let's have a look at what we have. So I'm going to click on this description on the link, and then we can see that it automatically structures information about a class, its constructor, and its method based on what we wrote. So the documentation is divided into sections. We've got the class summary, constructor summary, method summary, and what else? Detailed method descriptions, and any inherited methods if we've got any. So let's have a look at what this looks like. Let's come back to the beginning. Now over here, we know every class inherits from the parent class object. So meaning all its methods from the object class, like toString equals, is all inherited. So yeah, so let's and learn Java. Basically, this is coming from our package. So it just means that this class belongs or is in the learn Java package. Okay, so here we have the class description. Basically, that it provides a simple text-based menu for selecting. I know when I've copied this from ChatGPT, I should be checking everything, but for demo purposes and to keep track of the time, obviously I would read this if I were to actually have it available to the public. But for like demo purposes, it doesn't matter. I just wanted ChatGPT to generate it for me, and then I can demo and show you how to generate the documentation comments. However, I think ChatGPT does really good work with such topics. So this is the class level document comment explaining what the dynamic menu does. Now for the constructor summary, it means that dynamic what is it called? Dynamic menu has a default constructor, because every class has a default constructor, whether you write it or you don't. And we didn't write anything for that one. So basically, as you can see, there's no description. We didn't provide any. For the method summary, we have the methods, the static, the main method, basically. We've got the main, and we've got the display menu, and we've got the show welcome message. So these are all the descriptions we've provided. And these are some inherited methods from the object class. Yeah, they're like, example would be the toString method. This is something we're all familiar with. Okay. Method details for the main method. So the arguments. There's no return type for the main method. Display menu, we have the parameters that we specified in our documentation comments, and we did say that it returns. So this line is pretty much coming from this line here. It's exact line. And the welcome messages, just wanted to show you that only the description, it was what we provided, and we didn't provide any information about, there's no parameters, there's no returns, because this method didn't have anything except for a description. So that's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.